Are you feeling the frustrations of this fixed grand cross? Well, in today's video, we are going to be exploring Mars and Venus in Leo and how they are tied to us refusing to admit defeat and us choosing ourselves. Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. And if you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a Western practical astrologer. Now, before we do dive into today's video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button and click the bell. And if you are interested in any of my services, then you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. You can book a reading with me. There you can also find my Practical Astrology eBooks guide and merch. All the links will be in the description box down below. I really hope that you find this video to be helpful today and hopefully a little bit reassuring. Let's do this. Okay, so Mars entered Leo on the 20th of May and it will be there until the 10th of July. And since Mars entered this sign, we have all been experiencing this very intense fixed grand cross between Mars in Leo, the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio, Jupiter in Taurus, and Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Okay, so it has been 3 weeks since it all began, right? And here's what I think. I think this grand cross has been extremely humbling. The things we take for granted, the things we assume will stay the same, the situations which we don't fully recognize or appreciate because we're so used to having them. Maybe you can think about these types of things within your own life. Realizing that such things can be taken away at any moment. Realizing that there is only so much we can do and there is only so much we can control in our lives. Hard lessons, I know, very hard lessons, but also powerful lessons here. Even just drawing from my own experience, this grand cross has woken me up to subconscious self-destructive tendencies, especially thinking about how such things are tied to the past for me. Keeping in mind the South Node is in Scorpio there, and it has been teaching me about the importance of acknowledgement. So acknowledging my worth, what I have, what I own, what I have to be grateful for, what is working well in my life, and even acknowledging the people in my life. I have realized just how much I took certain things, experiences, people for granted. And I would also say that the lunar eclipse in Scorpio brought up so many things at the beginning of May. Oof. It has been a very confronting is the word here, a confronting few weeks, keeping in mind, of course, the South Node in Scorpio and then Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And Scorpio and Pluto show up as transformations, feeling as if we have been experiencing this internal death. We are being pushed out of something and toward something else. It may feel as if things have been falling apart over the last few weeks, but perhaps at the same time they are falling into place in really unexpected ways. Keep in mind that Aquarius influence too, but still hard lessons. But the thing about this too is things will change and things will eventually turn. Mars is on the move. And I'm recording this on the 10th of June. So Mars is starting to move away from this grand cross and Venus is still a part of it, highlighting self-esteem and value trigger points here. Just be cautious of overindulgence or overdoing it or feeling like you need to prove yourself. But then again, you know what? Perhaps it's this whole notion of desperate times call for desperate measures. Or realistically speaking, we are having to take on more so that we can make it through this challenging time. Stress levels may be super high right now for so many of us. Still, what about Mars? So Mars is tied to the ways in which we defend ourselves and fight our corner. It's tied to our survival. Essentially here, meaning that over the last few weeks, our survival has been challenged in very strong and forceful ways, in ways we didn't expect or plan for, Mars in Leo has been saying, do not get in my way of my future visions and my future aspirations. So whilst it's a time to surrender and to let go, keeping in mind the Saturn in Pisces in conjunction to Leo, well, I think it's also a time to keep fighting, to keep advocating for ourselves. And you might find that over the next few weeks, things will unfold, okay? The truth will be revealed. All we have to do is wait. So easy, right? Yeah, not really. Living in a state of uncertainty can be difficult, especially if you have mouths to feed. And of course, we all have bills to pay. In fact, Black Moon Lilith will conjunct Pallas on the 11th of June, so the day after I'm recording this. And Pallas is tied to defense and justice in its own way. And Black Moon Lilith can show up as rage. Black Moon Lilith will actually be in Leo whilst Venus is in Leo. Okay, so there is that energy going to be around during that Venus retrograde in Leo. So yeah, it's not going to be that usual Venus and Leo experience. It's going to be a lot more complex, a lot more confronting, looking at our shadow selves, looking at what we suppress, what we deny. I talked about these types of things in the Venus retrograde video. Still, Pallas and Black Moon Lilith point toward this fierce and powerful way of standing up for ourselves and facing challenges head on. This conjunction screams, you're not the boss of me. What gives you the right to do that? I need to know answers. I have what it takes to make it through this. I am stronger than I think. You will not disrespect my boundaries. I can see through you. I can see what I must do moving forward. And Mars as well will conjunct Pallas on the 8th of July, indicating a victory, perhaps indicating this victory of some sort or a celebration, recognition, being like, oh my gosh, I made it through. The masculine and feminine warriors uniting in Leo just may bring up this major win. Now, like I said, Mars will start to move. And so toward the middle of June, we may be feeling more inspired, more energized and ready. We may even feel more sure of ourselves. We know what we are capable of. Of course, Leo energy is very much about self-assurance and confidence, knowing that we have what it takes. These last few weeks have brought up many restrictions and limitations, stagnation, things not going according to plan. But these last few weeks have also brought up realizations and profound discoveries which we can carry forward. And there is also another thing that I want to cover before moving on to Venus, and this is to make you aware of the Mars retrograde in Leo and Cancer, which will begin at the end of 2024. Yes, it's a long time away, but I think it's particularly important to pay attention to what is unfolding whilst Mars is in Leo right now, because we may come up against similar sort of themes to do with our goals, self-assertion and leadership. Of course, there are still going to be major differences. And then too, keep in mind, Pluto will re-enter Aquarius at the end of 2024 and it will stay there for the next 20 years or so. And I also think that it's important to appreciate Mars being in Leo right now. And we may be able to enjoy it more as Mars starts to move away from this Grand Cross. But the reason being is because the last time Mars was in Leo was back in 2021. So that was 2 years ago. So we haven't been able to enjoy this energy for the last 2 years. And by this energy, I mean feeling super charged up about our creative projects, our creative goals, being extra bold and courageous, feeling like, you know what, I can do anything. I've got this. I can accomplish this. Being assertive about the things we want and knowing we are deserving of such things. Being outwardly playful and experiencing moments of great enthusiasm and thinking to ourselves, you know what, I know who I am and I'm confident about my abilities. I'm confident about myself in this situation. Yeah, Mars in Leo invites these types of experiences during this time. Perhaps such appreciations during this time can be our strength. And this leads me on to Venus in Leo. Okay, so Venus enters its shadow period from the 19th of June, so pay attention to what comes up from then until the 22nd of July, because we'll most likely be revisiting a situation that comes up during this time. A situation connected to our self-worth, values, finances, relationships, romance, self-acceptance, fashion, style, beauty, our livelihood, our earning potential. And with Venus being a part of this grand fixed cross, perhaps we have struggled. Okay, we're sort of going through a few struggles to do with our self-esteem, thinking about self-doubt and fears. These types of things may creep in. Maybe such things have been trying to teach us something about ourselves, about how we view the world. But Venus, of course, will start to move throughout June. And so I think coming into Cancer season, we will begin to feel more like ourselves, so to speak. I hope so. I really hope so. In fact, Venus and Mars will make this loose conjunction from around that time until the 10th of July. And so, your time to shine is coming. We are waiting for our moment in the sun. Now, of course, that's not to say that it's all going to be amazing and wonderful. Maybe certain things are taken away. We'll come out of this grand fixed cross, reborn, renewed. Some of us may feel upset or disappointed. Others of us may feel relieved, like, I'm so glad that's over. Others of us may feel accomplished, like, I can't believe all that happened and I made it through. Our strength to believe is very strong here. Realizing that we didn't give up on ourselves, or realizing that things taken away can lead to a readjustment that is quite notable. But Venus and Mars in Leo show up as us embracing something, whether that be an opportunity, a relationship, a house, a new job, an experience. Indeed, Leo is about stepping into the spotlight and being center of attention, seeing that we made it through and that we should be so proud of ourselves. So on that note, let's get into these horoscopes. Now do make sure to consider your personal natal chart and your placements. Such things should be taken into consideration. Aries. Over the last few weeks, your self-assertion, self-worth, and strength have been challenged with respect to your creative efforts, children, and forms of enjoyment. You have been confronted by unexpected community and group changes, and also by financial concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your 5th house over the next few weeks, you'll push to get things back on track with regards to your passions and your interests. Venus, of course, will retrograde in your 5th house soon, so pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your love, confidence, and your individuality. Taurus. Over the last few weeks, your self-assurance, self-worth, and strength have been challenged with respect to your family life, your home, your living situation. You have been confronted by unexpected career and life mission changes, and also by ambition concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your 4th house over the next few weeks, you'll push to get things back on track with regard to your safety and your protection. Venus will retrograde in your 4th house soon, so pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your housing, property, and your family. Gemini. Over the last few weeks, your self-assertion, self-worth, and strength have been challenged with respect to your communication, learning, and your neighborhood. You have been confronted by unexpected higher learning and bigger picture changes, also by unsayable concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your 3rd house over the next few weeks, you'll push to get things really back on track with regards to your delivery and your speech. Venus will retrograde in your 3rd house soon, so do pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your education, general interactions, and transport. Cancer. Over the last few weeks, your self-assurance, self-worth, and strength have been challenged with respect to your finances, possessions, and values. You have been confronted by unexpected loan, debt, shared resources changes, and also by future aim concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your second house over the next few weeks, you'll push to get things back on track with regard to your materials and how you earn a living. Venus will retrograde in your second house soon, so do pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your earning potential, self-worth, and belongings. Leo, over the last few weeks, your self-assurance, self-worth, and strength have been challenged with respect to your identity, your ambitions, your life path. You have been confronted by unexpected relationship, partnership, agreement changes, and also by professional concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your first house, over the next few weeks, you will push to get things back on track with regards to your outlook, your direction, your physical condition. Venus will retrograde in your first house soon, so do pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your life path and your appearance. Virgo, over the last few weeks, your self-assurance, self-worth, and strength have been challenged with respect to your hidden self, your subconscious, your intuitive guidance. You have been confronted by unexpected work, health, and schedule-related changes, and also by publishing, teaching concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your 12th house over the next few weeks, you'll push to get things back on track with regard to your spiritual self, your inner knowing, and behind the scenes activity. Venus retrograde will take place in your 12th house soon. So pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your fears and any dependencies you may have. Libra, over the last few weeks, your self-assurance, self-worth, your strength have been challenged with respect to your future aims, group involvements, your alliances, your teams. You have been confronted by unexpected creativity and ego-related changes, even thinking about children here, and also by shared resource / joint financial planning concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your 11th house over the next few weeks, you'll push to get things back on track with regard to your social circles, and your hopes for the future. Venus will retrograde in your 11th house soon, so pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your communities, teams, and gains too. Scorpio, over the last few weeks, your self-assurance, self-worth, and strength have been challenged with respect to your career, life mission, and your public image. You have been confronted by unexpected family, home, and private changes, and also by collaboration, partnership concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your 10th house over the next few weeks, you'll push to get things back on track with regard to your reputation, your purpose, and your professional life. Venus will retrograde in your 10th house, so do pay attention. Okay, that's going to be soon. So pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your successes and your achievements. Sagittarius, so over the last few weeks for you, your self-assurance, self-worth, and strength have been challenged with respect to your advanced training, legal concerns, travel opportunities as well. You have been confronted by neighborhood and short distance travel changes, and also by service and decision-making concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your 9th house over the next few weeks, well, you will push to get things back on track with regard to your further knowledge, your publications, and also international affairs there when it comes to international affairs. Venus, of course, will retrograde in your 9th house very soon, so do pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up for you regarding your code of ethics and long-distance communication too. Capricorn, over the last few weeks for yourself, well, your self-assurance, your self-worth, and your strength have been challenged with respect to your shared resources, joint financial planning, any debts you have. You have been confronted by financial and material changes, and also by child-related / romantic / creativity concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your 8th house over the next few weeks, You'll push to get things back on track with regards to your sexuality, bonding, combined money, also thinking about conception here as well. And Venus will retrograde in your 8th house soon, so pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your intimate relationships and transformations. Aquarius. So over the last few weeks, your self-assurance, your self-worth, your strength have all been challenged with respect to your partnerships, your clients, your collaborations. You have been confronted by ambition and identity changes, and also by housing and emotional concerns here. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your 7th house over the next few weeks, well, you will push to get things back on track with regard to your agreements, negotiations, clients, just relationships overall. And Venus will retrograde in your 7th house soon, so do pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your shadow and also regarding your opponents. And lastly, Pisces. Over the last few weeks, your self-assurance, self-worth, and strength have been challenged with respect to your workload, stress levels, your routines too, Pisces. You have been confronted by intuitive and spiritual changes, and also by neighborhood and short distance travel concerns. But as Mars and Venus start to move throughout your 6th house over the next few weeks, you'll push to get things back on track with regard to your health, self-care, your occupation, your services. Venus, of course, will retrograde in your 6th house very soon, so do pay attention to what self-love and ego-related themes come up regarding your task organization and problem-solving skills. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video talking all about Mars and Venus in Leo. I really do hope that you found this video to be helpful today. Just remember that things are going to move along very soon. So yes, all the very best to you, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and also give this video a like if you liked it today. And I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!